And today I'm bringing you how to set up a reaction role within Discord. This is becoming pretty popular right now on Discord. I don't know if it has anything to do with everybody being in quarantine, but right now everybody wants to build a server. So right here I've created a test server for you guys. I've already made a welcome channel. If you don't know how to create a channel, you just hit this plus icon and you give your channel a name, and that's it. So far I'm the only one in this test channel, so shout out to me. So bring this mic a little bit closer. So I've already said hi, welcome to Bean Toast. If you are happy, click the smiley face, alright? So before we get to how to set up this reaction role when somebody comes to the channel, let's go ahead and create a role. So in order to create a role, you go up here to server settings, and then you want to come down to roles, and right here we have the add everyone role. Right, so you want to come down and you want to turn all of this off, except for the read text channels. You want to turn embed links off, attach files. You can leave the read message history on. You want to turn mention at everyone and everyone else off. You want to turn that off, that off, that off, that off, that off. So basically turn everything off except for them being able to read. So this is your default for at everyone role. So you want to leave the read message history on, and you want to leave the read text channels and see voice channels on, as well as change nickname if you care. So now we're going to add another role, and we're going to call this Toast. So in the Toast role, I don't want people in this server to be able to create invites, so I always turn that off. We're going to leave those two on. We're going to leave that on. All that on. So basically everything that you didn't turn off for at everyone, leave it turned on for the member role that you're trying to give, whether it's a subscriber role, a basic role, whatever it is that you want to create or call your roles. That's what you do. So now this is the default. We're going to let them be gold. So now we have two roles for the server, Toast and everyone. So now we're going to go back. We set up our role. Now you're going to go to your web browser, and you want to go to Yagpdb. Yagpdb.xyz. So this is where you're going to set up this bot to connect with your server. So once you get on here, you're going to connect your server to your Twitch. You're going to connect your bot to your server. And if you have multiple servers, you want to make sure you come up here and select the server that you want this bot to access. So for me, I want to access the test server. And then you're going to come to this authentication page, and I'm going to hit continue. And I'm just leave all those checked, but make sure you uncheck the things that you don't want the bot to do. I don't really care about this server, so we're just going to authorize everything. So now you're going to come back to your home page. And you want to say click here to start managing. So you want to click this button. And now you see the home page. So you get a little welcome page, click to start managing, and then it's going to take you to the official home page that you will see from now on. So now we're going to go down to tools and utilities on the left hand side. We're going to scroll down to role commands. You want to hit that. Now here's where we're going to create, where we're going to set up the reaction role. So you're going to go over here to create new group. And I'm one who just gets right into it. I'm sorry, you guys. And you're just going to type in the name welcome. And the mode is where you set up whether this reaction is going to be a single reaction or multiple reactions, right? So in this instance, I'm asking, hey, if you're happy, click the smiley face, which is a single reaction. Well, if I had said, what is your favorite food? Then the reaction could be pizza, could be a donut, could be sushi. So that's multiple reactions. So you would select multiple if it was multiple and single if it's single. So in this case, we're going to click single. We're going to leave these settings alone, and we're just going to hit create new group. So now up top, as you see, we have this new group called welcome. And now we're going to add our role. So we're going to go up here and we're going to type in the role name, which was toast. Oh, yeah. Let me make sure this is capitalized. There we go, toast. And then we're going to select, oh yeah, that's another thing. So I'm glad this happened. So right here you see toast, role is above bot. You need to go back to Discord, go up here to the top, pull down your menu, go back to server settings. This is good. This is good. I mean, I knew in the back of my head, but I'm glad it happened that way so you guys can see just in case you experience the same thing. So you're going to go back to roles, and you want to make sure that the bot that we just added, so after you hit add bot to server, you want to make sure you go back and you bring this bot above toast. Or in this case, toast is the role. So you want to make sure you bring the bot above the roles, except for the top rows, which would be your admin rows and things like that. So you want to leave the bot in the middle, but above the lower rows. You just want to hit save changes. And as you see, everything that you allowed the bot to do is already checked on the Discord side, so you don't have to worry about that. And then you just want to go to exit again. And now we're going to go back to here. So now, as you see, make sure you refresh the page. So now as you see, toast is prominent. It's here. It's not disabled. So now we're going to name the role toast. And you leave all that alone, and then you just pick the group, and the group is welcome. And then you hit create new role. So now down here you can see we have the welcome here, the group settings, and now we have the role below. I'm also going to show you guys how to do a multiple, where you have multiple reactions, just so you guys can see, because you're going to do more than one role for multiple. But for now, we're just going to talk about single. So now that's set up. Now when we go back to Discord, we're going to come down here. But first, let's make sure we set this channel up. Right. So now you want to go to permissions. And you want to add the bot role. The name is pretty long, so I'm tired of saying it. But you want to add PDB in the bot to the channel that you want to use for this reaction role. And so by default, we don't have to play with any of this because we already set the default settings in the server settings. Now, if the server settings has something turned off that we would like to be turned on, this is where we do it within the permissions within the channel. So for instance, like the everyone role, we don't really have to say, oh, no, they can't do that. No, they can't do that, because we already made that set in the default settings. So you don't have to play around with it. So you're just going to say the changes. And also you want to make sure you we don't have to do none of that because we already did it in the server settings. So now you're just going to hit exit. And we're going to come down here to where we had the message welcome. And you're going to paste in this command. Now, before you run this command, make sure you have your developer settings on. If you do not have your developer settings on, this will not work. So in order to turn your developer settings on, settings by your user. So you're going to go to user settings in the bottom left hand corner. And then you're going to come down to appearance. And then you're just going to scroll down and you want to make sure this developer mode is turned on. Then if it's not turned on, do that. If it's already is, then you don't have to worry about this step. We're just going to get straight into it. So now here is where we replace the group name with what we created in Yagpdb. And it was welcome. And since I can't remember if I capitalized the welcome or not, we're just going to go back to it and we're going to see, nope, welcome is not capitalized. So we're going to type welcome. And then here where it says message ID, this is where we're going to copy the ID from the message. So in order to do that, you go to the message, make sure it's highlighted, make sure you're on the right one. You're going to go to it, and then you're going to hit this little more icon over here, the 3 dots. And then you're going to go down to copy ID. Then you're going to come back, and you're going to paste this right here. Boom. Voila. Now these little tags or syntax or whatever you want to call it, the -RR is so that if somebody clicks a reaction and they unclick it, it removes the row. If they click it again, it adds the row back. If they unclick the reaction, it removes the row. Nodm is plain as day. Nodm. So if somebody clicks on the reaction, the bot does not send them a direct message. So now we're going to hit enter. Then the bot will give you a prompt. And so now it wants us to react with the emoji for the row command toast. So here, highlight the message, the bot message, not the message up here, the bot message. And we're going to react with bread. So now once you react, it sets it up for you. So now we have bread right here. So let me unclick it so you guys can see. So I click it, and I click my name. You can see I have the row toast. If I unclick it, you can see I have no rows. So that's what that -RR does. It allows to take away rows and add rows. So that's all that you do to set up this this row reaction, now we're going to set up a multiple row. So now we're going to delete these. We'll leave that too so we can just copy it and then paste it, that way you don't have to do it all over again. So we're just going to delete this one. And we're going to create another question where we ask, what's your favorite food? Okay, so now we got what's your favorite food. So now we're going to go back to Yag, or however it's pronounced. Don't ask me, because clearly I do not know. We're going to go back, and we're going to go back to role commands. And you want to make sure you are on the home tab. And we're going to create a new group called food. And this time we're going to set the mode to multiple. And here you have the minimum number of rows and the max number of rows. The max number of rows in this case is going to be 3. The minimum number of rows, we don't really care. Or you can just leave it blank. Then we're going to hit create new group. So now, and if you don't put no number in minimum, it automatically makes it 0, which is why I just deleted it and left it blank. But we want to make sure this max is the number of reactions that you are going to put for whatever specific question you're going to ask or statement. So now we're going to go up here. Oh yeah, that's another thing that I dislike. If you don't, okay, the multiple can be done in many ways. In my case, I created a group I created a question about what platforms do you stream on, and I listed YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. But I didn't want to create a row for each one, right? So I would have a Facebook streamer, a YouTube streamer, and a Twitch streamer. So you will have a row for each one of those platforms. I didn't want to do it that way. So I only had one row, which was streamer row. And I basically just named the row, but I assigned each row the same role, streamer. You're strictly just a streamer. We're not going to categorize you by what you stream on. We're just going to keep you as streamer. So if you are one who wants the roles to be categorized that specific, then you will have to go back to Discord, go up to server settings, and create those roles. And then when you go back to YAG, this is where you will pick those roles and assign those roles, and you will add each one. So for each role, you will create a new role command. So in this case, we're not going to create no new roles. We just going to keep the role we got, and we just going to call this one pizza. Give it the toast command. We're going to call the next one donut. We're keeping the toast row because we do not want to make any new ones. And we're going to call the next one chicken. And we're going to create a new row. So now, as you can see, we have our group, food, and then we have our 3 rows. And they're all assigned to the toast row because we don't want to create all those extra rows. We just want to keep it simple. But the name of the row is chicken, donut, and pizza. So now that we have that set up, we're going to go back to Discord. And we're going to copy this. And then we're going to change the group name from welcome to food. And then we're going to change the message ID See, I almost copied the ID for that one, right? So now that I already used it, I'm just going to delete that message. So for what's your favorite food, make sure I copy this ID and paste it. Now I'm going to hit enter. Now the bot, you notice the first time it was single, so it was 0 out of 1. See, now we have 0 out of 3. So for chicken, and it also names the rows here if you hadn't noticed. React with the emoji for the row command, and then it gives you the name of the command. So now we're going to react with chicken. Now we're going to react with a donut. And now we're going to react with pizza. It's a roll. But as you see, I did make a mistake using the emoji from another server, and I still was able to react with the emoji, the correct emoji that the bot has access to. And so now we have chicken, donut, and pizza. And we're done. We set up a multiple reaction role. So now, if I click chicken and I click my name, as you can see, I'm giving the roll toast. Now, if I had made a new roll and I called it chicken roll, donut, and pizza, when I click my name, I would see chicken, donut, and pizza. So now that we have that set up, now we're going to go to this other channel called General. And someone also asked, well, how do we, say we have subscribers and we only want a subscriber-based channel? How do you keep others from viewing that channel? Well, you go to edit channel, it's the same, go to permissions, and you add the role, and then you add everyone, you turn read off. That's all you do. Turn read off and read messages. So you turn those two off and you just say the changes. And then for toast, you just leave the default, because for toast anyway, they can see everything, they can do everything, as a member. So that's all you do. And so now, as you see, we have this little, let me click welcome so you guys can see it. We have this little lock icon. Now I'm going to remote into my iPad, and I'm going to send myself a link to this server so you guys can see when I first get onto the server, I have to answer these 2 questions, and then I'll be able to see the general chat. So now I'm going to go up here to tap to add server. I'm going to hit join a server, and then I'm just going to copy the code to invite people from over here. So it's https discord.gg /Z S PN P and number 6. Make sure I got that right. Okay, then we're going to hit join server. As you can see, it's the test server invited. Then we're going to hit accept. Then when we first come in, you notice I can't see anything over here. That's locked. I can't do anything. Only thing I have access to is welcome. So now I'm going to go down here and say, if you are happy, click the smiley face. I'm going to click that. And the other one really don't matter since I gave it the same member role as the first question, but I'm just going to select the option anyway. So I'm going to hit donut. And as you notice down here, I now can type in the welcome. And if you don't want your members to type in a welcome, you just go to the welcome channel, go to permissions, and turned off send messages for members. And now I have access to. Okay guys, so here's where I had to do a little bit of troubleshooting. Remind you that I learned all this from watching other people do it. And so, half the time they don't include everything in the videos, they chop things out. Well, for this instance, I watched one specific video where the guy left the defaults and it worked for the channel, the reactions. So when you do a welcome channel or you do a rules channel and you want them to click a certain reaction in order to see the rest of your server, you have to make sure that you add the permission for reactions, which is at the very bottom of the permissions list, to the role at everyone, and vice versa for other roles as well. So when you have your private channels, you're going to have to go into every single role that you want for that channel or people to view that channel. You're going to have to go in every single role and make sure that the read is on, send messages if you want them to be able to reply with messages, add images, all that. So all the permissions that you would like for that role to do, you're going to have to go to each specific channel and make sure that role has those permissions checked green. Because if you don't, if you just leave it with the default, which is the neutral, the / with the gray background, if you leave all the permissions like that, they will not be able to do anything. So I guess private channels don't inherit the default permissions, which kind of sucks because you're having to double the work. If I make the permissions default in the server settings, it should not matter if the channel is public or private. It should automatically inherit the default settings, which is from the server. Not the case for channel permissions. For some reason, they're a little bit different from server permissions, but yeah, let's get back into this video. That's how you set up a private channel. That is how you set up role reactions. Also, guys, I'm going to show you one last thing that is very cool that you can do, and that is list your server stats. So now we are going to go to serverstatsbot.com. So when you go to server stats, you just go to get started. Then you select the server that you want. So you always come to this authentication, this integration page. You always have to select your server, you know that. So we're just gonna select test server. We're gonna hit continue. We're just gonna leave all that checked. We're gonna hit authorize. No, I'm not a bot. Now this bot has been added to our server. See, server stats. So now we are going to go to, I can't remember if I have to add this bot to the channel or not. Let me see. Nope, I don't. So it's already added, and then you're gonna go to s/setup. We're gonna say voice. And as you see over here to the left, it created the stats for us. So we have 4 members, 2 are members, and we have 2 bots. 2, this members right here, what is counting is these toast members. Now, if you want a custom one, so for instance, if we had a role permission called subscribers, we would just create a new role called subs. And then let's give myself the sub role. So also go down here to members, and we're gonna add the sub role. So now to set up customs, you just go to s/counter create, and then it's going to give you a list. In this case, we want to set up just one particular row, not multiple. And now this is where you set up, like, if you just want certain like members count and things like that. So we're just going to hit voice, because all the other ones are voice channels. Which rows do you want to use in this count? Now we're just going to add subs. And now over here to the side, it says single row, but you can change this name. So you just go to edit channel, and you just change it to subs. Leave the number because that's what the bot uses, but it doesn't really care about what's before the colon. So now we have 2 subs, 2 bots, 2 members. And you can also delete, take away, whatever, if you don't want to use it. But yeah, that's all you do, and that's how you get server stats.